What up, everybody? I'm Dave Miranda, and this is episode 30 of Just Give Me 5. Man, I can't believe these are just flying by, man, flying by. But hey, I'm not complaining. No, we're having a good time. So, speaking of which, if you guys caught episode 29, you saw that we had none other than the one and only DJ Shy. And let me tell you, when he was telling those stories about that boat trip, you know, that boat cruise with Sherelle and like Michael Cooper, I mean, that was amazing because growing up as a kid, you know, I mean, like I grew up on Alexander O'Neal and Sherelle and Confunction, you know. My uncles were really big, you know, really big into funk music, so there was a lot of influence there. And, you know, I just thought that was dope, man, you know. And then now in the 90s in Arizona, we used to have party crews. And there, you know, there were numerous other DJs, you know, but I got to tell you, man, when it came to like the main guy who ran all the after hour, you know, nightclubs and that we used to go to and stuff, but it was DJ Shy. You know, I mean, he was that guy. You know, it's like when you looked at the flyer, it's like his name was the one in caps lock, you know what I mean, in bold, you know what I mean? And all the other DJs were just, you know, kind of like below him, man. I mean, it's just, he was that dude, you know? And so it was just an honor to have him, you know, have him on the show and really get a chance to tell his story. So, you know, nothing but love and respect to my man DJ Shy, and make sure you guys watch episode 29. All right. But today's guest has been a definite staple in the Arizona scene for so many years now. This guy was an outstanding battle rapper, an outstanding poet, motivational speaker, and we're gonna definitely get into that. I mean, he has conquered so much. His story is definitely incredible. And I like to call him a fearless dream chaser, because that's exactly what he is. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you Apollo.
Hey, what's up? This is Apollo, and all I'm saying is just give me 5. So I knew that I wanted to be a rapper when I first heard Nas, If I Ruled the World. And the third verse, that beat switched with the piano coming, and and I was just like, what is happening inside of me right now? And that was like really a moment that I really committed to wanting to be a rapper. But what really defined it for me was when I was like 12 years old, I had an older cousin who was 15, and she was really into hip hop and introduced me to hip hop. And unfortunately, she ended up having cancer, and I would go visit her in the hospital, and I wrote my first rap, and I was so excited to share it with her. I remember I was about to rap it for the first time ever, and then my family and her friends walked into the room, and I was like, got shy, and I was like, no, I can't rap this. I said, I'll rap it for you when you get out of here. And she ended up passing away a week later. And that moment was like really the moment that I realized the importance of using your voice and using it like unapologetically and loudly. And it was this conversion from poetry to hip hop that regardless of what I was doing, I was no longer gonna like hide my voice, you know, like I was just gonna speak my truth. And that was really the moment that I'm like, I'm gonna be a rapper and I'm gonna be a poet, and I'm not gonna shy away from that expression, you know what I mean? So then I started writing more, recording more, going to open mics, and shortly after, my family went through a really difficult time where we ended up losing our house. And all of a sudden, I found myself as a high school dropout, dealing with depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, and my family was homeless. And then I remember when I heard Slippin' from DMX, shout out to DJ Shock, he's the producer of that beat, and nothing moved me more than that beat just hits my soul, and RIP to X, of course. And that song really helped me get through that tough time. And then Tupac, there was just this deep emotional hip hop that it really saved my life. Like hip hop completely saved my life. It's the only thing that kept me alive. And that's when I realized the power of words and really kept going at what I wanted to do with, you know, using my words to leave an impact. So I started going to open mics, and then I ended up entering my first rap battle in New York. And so I'm sitting there, I was like, I think 16, 17 at the time, and there was this dude that was sitting behind me, And we just started chopping it up, like waiting for the open mic to start. He was telling me like, he's gonna enter the battle. And I was like, oh, cool, so am I. And he's like, I think he just like got out of prison like a week ago or something. Like I didn't know who he was, right? Me and him end up versing each other in the semifinals. And he destroys me, like just destroys me. Long story short, I find out that his name is Immortal Technique. So my first rap battle was against Immortal Technique, and I got destroyed. And that was a real motivating factor for me, because after that, I was like, I never want to feel that again, that feeling of just being destroyed in a rap battle like that. So I took it even more seriously, and that's what really kind of launched the beginning of my career. So my battle rap career started in New York, and it was obviously super competitive. And when I moved to Arizona, I remember I went to a Circle K, picked up a Source magazine, and I saw that there was this &1 rap battle going on and a basketball game, and I was super hyped. So I was like, cool. And they're like, you have to show up before the game starts to try to make the finals of this rap battle, and the top 4 will get to battle in front of the whole stadium. I think it was like 15,000 people, like packed. And so, I'm coming from New York, where it's such a bigger market. There's just more people and more states around. So when there's a big opportunity like that, like the MTV rap battle, it was 5,000 people showed up the night before. So I show up to this thing at like 6 a.m. the day of the battle, and I waited there by myself for 8 hours, and then the second rapper showed up like 30 minutes before, and then it filled up. Wow. But at that point I was so hungry. I was like, I've been waiting here 8 hours, I'm about to eat some rappers. And I got into the top 4, got backstage hanging out with Benzino, the founder of Source, and ended up winning the battle. And it was like my first month in Arizona, so nobody knew who I was, and it sparked up this whole thing where when I walked out of that stadium, people were asking for autographs, and I was like, what is going on right now? Like, I was taking photos with people, girls were hitting on me, that never happened before. So I was like, this is kind of cool. And then I ended up handing my demo to Matlox without knowing that it was Matlox. It was like, I just got here. I didn't know who anyone was yet. And I was walking to my car after the event. I had an extra demo. I saw him. He said, what's up? And I gave him the demo. Ended up being Matlox. Nice. I end up on Friday Night Flavors. I end up on J Times 3, where I ended up battling 13 weeks in a row, undefeated, and they ended up retiring me into the Hall of Fame. And that was just such a cool experience to just come out here with that much hunger and to see results so quickly. Arizona was such a blessing. I got so much love for the state because it changed my life. So from that, I ended up, Vibe magazine was doing a special on Phoenix hip hop during the time I was doing those rap battles. So they ended up featuring me in Vibe magazine, the episode with Tupac and Biggie on the front cover. So it's like extra special, Legendary. And then that led to MTV's True Life finding out about all this and casting me for their battle rap show. True Life, I'm a freestyle rapper, battle rapper. And then that led to my record deal, and it all happened just like, it felt like a sense of destiny. It was just, the momentum was just riding, and I'm just forever grateful for that time. Because honestly, like 99% of music artists don't make any money off of music, and for me to go from this homeless, broke teenager to getting this 6-figure deal, it completely changed my life. When I was in my early 20s, I made a bucket list of things that I just wanted to complete before I died. It was things that I thought were impossible, like getting on the reality shows, breaking a Guinness World Record, traveling to all 50 states, like things that I'm like, this is never gonna happen. Getting on TED was one of them. I was trying to get on TED for years, just never happened. I just never got booked. So I kind of let it go. And then as a career, I started facilitating empathy workshops, anti-bullying workshops at different high schools around the country. I did that for like 3-4 years. And during one of my first months on the job, there was an active shooting during my workshop. So I was in a gym with 100 7th grade students, and then we went on lockdown because there was an active shooter situation. Oh, wow. And I remember in that moment being like, I'm completely like ready to die right now. I'm not gonna let someone come in here and shoot 100 7th graders. It impacted me, and gun violence has been a part of my life growing up. I've experienced it several times. So it was a pretty traumatic event going through that school shooting. And then they started launching March for Our Lives. That was after the Parkland school shooting. And I ended up facilitating a big social political rally in Oakland, California. We had thousands of people show up. Steve Kerr was there, you know, the Warriors coach, prior Warriors coach, and presidential candidates showed up. Like, it was a big event, and it was my first time ever putting on something like that. And then that led to getting on the TEDx talks, because during that time, school shootings and gun violence was a big topic. Crazy story, I actually got a message from one of my friends on Facebook randomly, and she said, I had a dream that you were speaking on TEDx stages. And she like sent me links to like apply. I applied because my friend just randomly had a dream about me on the TED stage. So I just did it. And I ended up getting 5 yeses from like 5 different cities. I had to turn down 2 of them because the schedules collided. And it just happened like back to back, and it was a dream come true. I got to speak about the importance of empathy training in schools. So it was a great experience. So some of my favorite memories definitely include Friday Night Flavors. I was there. It was one of the most epic nights in Arizona hip hop history, for sure. Second one was opening up for the Pussycat Dolls, Cassidy, Pitbull during After 9 events. Like, those are some of my favorite memories for sure. The third one was getting that record deal and getting to be in the studio with Swizz Beatz. That was one of the most epic moments of my life. I was sitting there just couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was like, he was one of my favorite producers. He was out here just giving me advice too, not just like making music, but giving me career advice. And that was definitely an unforgettable moment. And then the fourth one, Willie North Pole. Oh shit. So I'm going to talk about this situation because I've never actually talked about it publicly, and I know there's a lot of different stories. If you were part of the Arizona hip-hop scene back then, I'm sure you've heard some of them, but I'll just give you my perspective of what happened. So Carly Hustle, God bless her, was putting on, what was it called, the event? Do you remember?
It's like the Round Table.
The Round Table, that's right. I believe that's what it was called. Yeah. And it was such a beautiful vision of like uniting the Arizona hip hop scene. And I think at the time we were all a little, not all, some of us were a little young, a little arrogant, you know, in our egos. And so we had this gathering, and at the time it was just like, it was a big thing. And during this time, you know, things were blowing up too. Like I had my record deal, Poker Face had a deal, Hot Rod had a deal, Willie North Pole had a deal. Like, things were popping off in the Arizona hip-hop community. And what happened was, 602 Streets, old school website, I think Willie North Pole posted a song, and I love Willie North Pole's music, but I also keep it real when I don't like a song. Like, I'll tell my boys, that's all right. And I think that's what good friends do, you know, be real with your friends. So I was just kind of like, I'm not really feeling this song, just being honest. And that didn't land too well on Willie. It kind of felt like, you know, we're all from Arizona. We should be supporting each other, especially online. When I look back at it, I get that perspective. Like, I respect that perspective. I had mine and he had his, but we couldn't see each other's at the time. So at the round table, I'm sitting there with the Joker, Cavi, Pennywise. We're all sitting at the table. Anyone who raps was, you know, it was like a big thing, over 100 people. And then Willie North Pole stands up, and I at that point, I have no idea it was gonna be at me. And he goes, I'm cool with all y'all except this dude right here. And he points at me and I'm just like, oh no, like what is happening right now? And then he talked about how like, yeah, he like hated on one of my songs and we should be, you know, we're talking about uniting, but we can't be hating on each other. Right? And he's like, this dude came here in Arizona and like thinks that he runs shit. And I was so cocky and so arrogant. I remember saying something like, I think I was saying something like he said like he thinks he's better than everyone, and I was like, cause I am. And I was like, why doesn't everybody line up and I'll just battle everybody in this room right now? Like some wild shit that I look back at, I was just like, what was that? And then he like stood up, and then I think I was about to stand up, and then like a lot of big dudes behind him stood up, and then I like sat down. I was like, nope. I was not on that at all. Like I didn't know what was about to go down. It was like he ran with some serious dudes, you know? But he also like, it was just this weird thing that, and then, you know, IROC got involved and broke it up, and people, I mean, it was just the way it ended where people kind of scattered and they didn't know if there was like a fight that was about to go down, but we knew that the event was ruined. Long story short, what people don't know is me and Willie North Pole ended up on the phone with each other like literally hours after this event and squashed whatever it was. So it was kind of unfortunate what that story turned into. We were cool with each other before that. There was a time that Poker Face and Willie North Pole were in Salt Mine Studios with me. We were talking about making a song together, doing a project together. So there was love there before that people didn't know, and there was love there after. And I think that was a lot of my coming full circle story with Arizona hip hop was I came here as a really young, arrogant kid that was trying to prove himself and definitely like overstepped and was disrespectful, and I apologize for that. But a lot of the people that I had issues with, the story with Chino D, we can go into, I'm cool with now, and I think we've all matured as individuals, so now we can see each other as adults and be like, you know, it's all good. You know, I don't have issues with anybody now, so, yeah. It feels amazing, obviously, to feel, you know, to feel loved and to know that you're special. I have this kind of philosophy about existence. We're about to go on a little philosophy journey for just a quick minute. But I have this like realization that this moment is an absolute miracle every moment, and it's so like unique every single second. It'll never happen again in all of history. And there's also this realization that like everything that's alive right now, right? Like every human, every animal, everything in the universe, every star, that we share two things in common, right? That we're alive right now and there's a moment that we're not gonna be. That's like everyone's destiny. Right. So to like realize the eternal temporary nature of existence is mind-blowing to me, that I exist right now. Like when I think about, you know, out of all the sperm, like that's the one that made it. And like out of, if you think about your lineage, how many people had to meet and procreate for thousands of years for you to exist right now, right? It blows my mind. So I just kind of treat it like every moment is sacred. I like to squeeze the juice out of life. And I think that's why I've lived in such an extreme way and go after my dreams and go after all these things, like unapologetically mess up, fall, learn from it, you know, be humbled by it. It's just been a beautiful journey, and I just want to savor every second. And I think this past year has really, really taught me that even more so. I realize the importance of family. I realize the importance of really being grateful for things in your life that I think we took for granted maybe before the pandemic. So I'm definitely more in a state of gratitude and appreciation for just being alive, because I know one day I'm not gonna be, but right now I am, and that's amazing. Like, yes, we're alive. Friggin', right. How can we not be blown away that we just exist? Because it's so beautiful to be alive. So that's what it feels like. Shout out, obviously, Just Give Me 5. Oh, I don't even have the shirt on. Hold on, give me the shirt. Throw me the shirt. Okay. Let me hold it up. Can't give a shout out without a promo shot.
Go, man.
Just Give Me 5. Shout out to them. Yeah, y'all are doing a great job here. Shout out to the song that we created, me and Miranda and Realistic and Rocky Tirade. Yep. That was one of my favorite songs ever. So shout out to everyone I've ever collaborated with in Arizona. Shout out to Chino D. We were once mortal enemies and we became best friends, soul brothers. Amen. You know, it's great to have friendships like that. I feel like I'm gonna forget a lot of names. Shout out to Willie North Pole. Shout out to Poker Face, Matt Locks, like J Times 3, anyone who had anything to do with my career, who showed me love out here. Thank you. That was one of my favorite eras in my life. I look back at that time as some of the happiest years, even with some of the drama. My dreams came true, and there was so much love felt. And I just have so much gratitude for Arizona, so thank y'all. So those are some shout outs and just some words of encouragement for anybody that's going through anything right now, is to not get over what you're going through, but to get through what you're going through, like all the way through to the other side of it. Because what I found in my life is that it's always worth it. It's hard to remember that in the moment. When you're like really heavy in it, it feels like it's just taken over your life. But always remember, things change. Like, you're not who you were 5 years ago. So what makes you think you're gonna be the same person you are 5 years from now, right? We're always evolving, always changing. I've reinvented myself, rediscovered myself. I had all my dreams come true and then lost it all. And many times, I've hit rock bottom many times, and I've changed who I am, and that's okay. It's okay to be evolving and changing as a human being. So keep your head up. Much love to all of you, and that's my time.
And there you have it. Nothing but love and respect to my man Apollo. You know, that guy is a true gem. I mean, he's always been solid, always been solid. And that record that we did, you know, that record was fire, man. I'm not just saying it because I was on it. That was definitely a gem in itself. So nothing but love and respect to Apollo, man. You know, just wish you the best, my man. Make sure you guys are following him on social media. Nothing but love and respect to my brother Jimmy Nelson on that camera. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And man, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, because this was definitely another one for the books. A lot of fun. And till next time, stay tuned, stay blessed, stay healthy, and just give me 5, y'all. Make sure you guys watch episode 28. All right.
But today's guest...